and welcome to Aisha's Take. It's 2 p.m., right? And so let's all gather. There's so much to talk about. So much. And I'm sure you're wondering. But before we get to the real topic at hand for today, let me just say that while we're watching, since all of us are watching, we can have conversation. This is a premiere. We can have conversation. So ask your question. I'll be answering the questions and all of that. And we'll take it from there. So most of you are curious about today's topic, right? But you know, life is what it is. And there are certain times in our life where we come to a decision and then we just have to... Why are you looking so rapt? I see some of you are like, huh? Some of you are like, what's she going to say? What's the... Anyway, let me come to today's topic. So today's topic is reasons why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an option. Yeah. You have a reason? Maybe you don't have reason, but I do. And I'm going to give you those reasons. It's not what you think. Let's carry on with the conversation. So I was talking to my sister, my junior sister, and so we're having a conversation, and she was like, so she was saying, she doesn't know why people support Ahmed Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that she can't just fathom her head. Did I just say hand? Do you know, as I grow older, my Edo accent just keeps coming out and coming out. But hey, it is what it is. And so she said she can't just fathom it, why people would actually support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And so then I gave her reasons why for a lot of people Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an option. And after I was all done, she was like, you've really made me understand this thing, that it's really been bothering her, because sometimes she sees the kind of people that are supporting him and she's wondering, these people, what is it? And so I just realized that I've actually been talking, and I've been doing that with a lot of people. I speak to a lot of people, and then they come and then they say, now we understand why this is. So I felt, okay, let me do this as a video, and then probably you too will understand why people are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and then you don't just stop, you don't just continue to bother yourself about all of these things. So let's come back to it, the reason. So there are several reasons for different people, the reasons why they are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There are a group of people who, for them, the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu looks like someone who is not at his best medically, and I wish him all good health. I know what it is not to be, at your best medically. I also have my fair share of illnesses. Some of them have been lingering. I've had some for over 30 years. I've had some for the last sort of like 5-6 years. So I know what it is, having to not be the way you used to be before. And there's certain things that you could do before. You're grappling with them. It can be so frustrating and all of that. So I'm never one to mock anyone in when it comes to illness, because I know it's something that can affect anybody. And one thing also is that we don't die the way we are sick. There's somebody that you see, the person is old, very sick, and the one that is seemingly healthy, hale and healthy, will be the one to die first, and stuff like that. And so for me, it's something, it's not about mockery, but we have to look at issues the way they are and discuss them. And the fact that this is somebody who is coming out and say that he wants to be the president of our nation, and it will affect all of us. So this is something that we all have to discuss and speak about. For one group of people, they are very interested in Bola Ahmed Tinubu not being at his physical best when it comes to health, whether mentally, physically, and all of that. And so what it means for those people is that they will have opportunity to get into power and actually make themselves the power brokers. So for them, and they will do everything together. So for them, it's not about Tinubu himself getting into office. It's about they having access to office. So sometimes you'll be looking at such people and wondering, how is this person campaigning for Tinubu? Or how come this person, can this person say that Tinubu is not at the best state of health, whether mentally, physically, and just like you saw the pictures that came out yesterday from Gombe, where it said that he fell asleep. I know, falling asleep is something that happens to people from time to time, but you know, it's a picture. They say picture speaks 1,000 words. That picture was really, I mean, was it those pictures, because there were more than one that came out, were really speaking thousands and thousands, in short, millions of words. And so some people who are like thinking, why are these people? So this is it. For them, it is access to power. Because the more you have a president who is incapacitated in one form or the other, the more you will have certain group of people who are going to hijack power and hold on to power and use that power for themselves. And we've seen that with the present president that we have, General Muhammadu Buhari. What has happened is that a few people have sort of like grabbed power at different levels, and then they are the ones who are now who are sort of like handling the nation the way that they want to, without anybody talking to them, or anybody being able to confront them or hold them accountable, or sort of like be their leader. So nobody watching over them. They are now the overall bosses. So they sort of like usurped power, not forcefully, but the power is lying there, not being used, and then they've taken over that power. So for them, for those kind of people, so there are some people right now who also want to play that position. Like I was saying to my sister when I was explaining all of this, so I said, look, for example, the Attorney General of the Federation, Malemi. This is somebody who 8 years ago, who knew him? Really, only a few people knew him in his private capacity, you know, just there. And look at how powerful he has become in less than 8 years, in about 7 years or thereabout. He's become so powerful. And he has not just powerful in sense of he's a minister, in sense of he's the Attorney General of the Federation, powerful in sense of he has assumed so much power because the president is incapacitated. I mean, they get to say do what they want to do. Even when the president says to them, no, they go ahead and do it, because they know he really doesn't have the mental capacity to be able to stay on the issue and even remember what he had said he would not do before or should not be done. Or he doesn't even have the physical capacity for him to even go through and ensure that certain things are being done or they are not being done. And so it's so much power that they assume, and they do so much. And so these are the things that some people want in with the Tinubu, in trying to aspire for that Tinubu presidency. So when you're sitting down and looking at certain people and like, how come? Forget about it. They are not campaigning for Tinubu. They are campaigning for themselves to be in power. They are campaigning for themselves to be able to take that fair share of power and be able to grab certain part and hold on to it. And we've seen it a lot with the present president that we have. So that's for one group of people who are interested in just going in there and grabbing power. Then there's another set of people who, for them, they want the opportunity to be close to power. So for them, it's opportunity to have access to power, to be able to use power wherever it is. And so this group of people also, they will campaign for Tinubu. They will do all sorts of things. They don't get. They are not saying that they know that he can do something. They know he can. They clearly see it. But it's about them, and they need to get into office. They need to have that access to power. For example, especially when you look at the APC, the way it has been. So, you know, the APC has been sort of like divided into two. So there's the Northern APC and the Southwestern APC. The Northern APC, especially with the youth, with the people around and everything, they sort of like had access to power, right? Power at the federal level. But the Southwestern APC, they've not really had that access to power, because most of the appointments of the president has been from the North and all of that. So the Southwestern APC are now also looking for the opportunity to be able to enter and then and gather this power for themselves also. So that also is something. So there are a lot of people who are waiting positions of like SS, SSAs, PAs, ministers, whatever it is, across, you know, maybe DGs, maybe board members. So there's a whole lot of that going on. So some people, they want that to happen, right? And so they're doing everything. So they're campaigning for him. They're doing all sorts, not because they can see it's not about whether he's capable or not capable. It's like the Emiloko that they talk about. So it's also the Emiloko. So the Emiloconis, or whatever it is that we should call them. So these people also, they also want to get into power, right? So that's also one set of people. Then there's another set of people who they are relatives of those that they expect to get into power, or friends. So there's this relatives, friends, and all of that. So for them, as far as they are concerned, if these other people get into power, they'll be able to get something. So for example, if this person is made minister, that person is made PA, they will now become chief of staff to minister, or chief of staff to this. You know, I saw the other day, you know, they were doing parties, and I was like, they were chief of staff to youth leader. I'm like, eh? Chief of staff to you. Somebody wrote me an email on this and introduced himself as the chief of staff. I'm like, so youth leader, you people have chief of staff. Anyway, let me come and concentrate. Let me focus on the discussion that we are having today, right? So for some of them that are related or friends or something, add to these people that potential would be. So they too, they will support. They will do everything, because when their potential would be get appointment or something like that, they too will be able to get something. So yeah, so we've seen the different groups as we go. Then one of the things that I don't know whether there's any court case, so we call it allegation. They are always allegation until they are proven in the court of law. There has been allegation of corruption against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Some say in terms of even Lagos, that he owns Lagos. Some say that is it Alpha Beta, that company, he owns the company, and that company sort of like has its hands on every pie that's happening, that is cooking in Lagos. There are issues of maybe his brother here, son there, these, that, they're all controlling one part of Lagos or the other. There are people who want that also, and there are people who admire that, people who want that status quo to continue, because there are, and then you saw the billion vans during the election and money being shared. So with all of this allegation and the perception and all of that around, some people feel that, okay, if he comes in, fighting corruption will not be a priority. I saw a tweet some days ago where someone was asking, oh, that they have never heard Tinubu say he's going to fight corruption or any of those. I don't know whether that's factual, the question, or whether he has spoken, because I'm one person, mostly I'm not very, when it comes to current affairs, honestly, I'm very poor in it. Literally, things could be happening and I wouldn't even know that they are happening. I always say to people, if not for the books that I read, I would have been so ignorant. So I don't know whether he has spoken about it or anything, but that's a valid point. She was saying that she has never seen him say he was going to fight corruption, and therefore a group of people, that's really what they want. They want the status quo to remain. And when I was telling myself, like, now she gets it. I said, look, there are people who are corrupt where they are, whether in their offices, whether in their businesses, whether in the day-to-day things that they are doing. They thrive on corruption. For them, corruption is norm. So they're going to vote somebody who is similarly looked upon as being corrupt. So someone who has allegation of corruption, they will vote for that person, because what it means for them is that when that person comes in, they're not going to be bothered about changing the status quo. Business will continue as usual. And so that's their business, that they want it to continue as usual. So they're not looking for things whereby you say, oh, somebody will now come, anti-corruption crusader, and stop things, or somebody that will make things work very well, or somebody that's going to fix Nigeria in such a way that they will not have access to those their corrupt practices and the sort of like undue advantage or influence that they have, and so they will lose out from whatever it is they were gaining. So for such people, it's in their interest actually for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be president. And so what do? They will, that's where you see that support. I was also saying that, like, we have like people who, for example, do 419, all of these financial crimes and all of that. There are some of them who even have this association of mothers of people who do 419, and they're always praying and all sorts of things. There are parents who literally take their children. There are schools where they actually teach all of the things like the 419 or 419, or how do we even call that? But you know, fraud and all of that. There are schools. I think a few weeks ago there was, or was it some months ago, there was a school that was nabbed where they were actually teaching all of this. And I think a few months ago we saw a video of two boys who were speaking pidgin, who said that they had left their houses to go and look for where school where they will be taught how to do 419. And the person who was videoing, they was like, you know, asking them questions like, yes, they want to go and learn and stuff like that. So for those people also who, what do you expect? You expect them to want to vote in somebody that will now come and fix Nigeria, that will say no to corruption, that will ensure that all of that stop. They don't ensure the police go after them. Definitely not. They are those ones. They want Ebola Ahmed Tinubu to be in power. So when you see those people, you know, making those demands and campaigning for him or whatever, well, it is. Oh, by the way, campaign is everybody's choice, and so I will still go down the line to explain, you know, the different reasons why he's an option to certain people. So you have all of these people who want the status quo to remain, all of the people who feel that, look, we would rather have a corrupt person so that business will continue as usual, rather than bring somebody that will fix Nigeria and then we take the food out of our mouth. Because there are some people who, as far as they are concerned, the way government, the yardstick for government is working is how directly affected they are. So if they are making money, they don't care whether whatever means through which they make the money, all they are interested in is, oh, the government is working. And that's it for such people. So you have those set of people. Then there are people whom for them it's all about a tribe. You understand? Oh, this person is our tribal person. So there's no how we're going to support another person and not actually support this person. So for them, that's the reason why for them they are supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then for some, maybe a few, I don't see that much as a factor. I see the religious factor higher than the faith factor. So for them, some will say like, okay, maybe it's a Muslim, but maybe there will be a few that might think that way and say, okay, just because he's a Muslim. And then there are a large number of people across the whole country who for them it's about party. It doesn't matter whether they like the person or not. It doesn't matter whether they believe in the person or not. It doesn't matter whether they think the person is able to or not. All of those things don't matter. What matters is the party. Is what is it that the party has put forward. Even if the party had put forward, I think I have a book here that have this can just say, even if the party have put forward this and then INEC accepts this, you said this, and say that's the candidate, they will vote for this. It's as simple as ABCD. For them, it's all about the party and what is it that the party has decided. So they really don't have any choice. There are some people who are not happy at all, but because it's a party decision, so they keep going. And then, of course, they have to publicly support and show that. So there's that group of people also. And then there are some who feel one way or the other, when he was Lagos State governor, he probably, for them, they feel he did well, or he had done well, or he brought in people, and then, you know, over the years he has. So okay, I will talk about that also. So for them, these people, all they think about is that, oh, okay, he was good, he was that. They are not looking at the present situation, or they feel that, oh, he'll be able to walk through it. You don't need all the strength that you need. So for them, some of them, you know, they are supporting that. And then over the years, you know that one of the things you will not take away from Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the fact that he has been like the father of opposition up until before they got into power, and he has been one strong person in opposition whom, no matter what, he just stayed put, not like running after other parties like many other people did, until when they now had that merger, and then they were able to wrestle power of PDP, and then they became now the in government, the party in government rather than opposition. So he has always been able to stay there. So there's a lot of people who admire him for that, and then he has been able to bring a lot of people in terms of people into position, especially that southwest. When you see a lot of people who are in position, whether politically or whatever, you hardly see any who had gotten there without actually a Tinubu influence. So you get to a place where you can have a payback time. And so there are a lot of people whom for them they owe him something across. So when I say not necessarily small, that's the wrong word to use. Not necessarily ordinary citizens, but maybe certain people who in certain places, they owe him. And he's calling for his, sort of, this is the time to call for your debt. So owing somebody in terms of you've done something for someone, you've been there for someone, whether politically or whatever, and we must not take away the fact that he exudes a lot of political influence, especially in the southwestern part of the country, not necessarily the whole of Nigeria. So in that southwestern part of the country, and there may be other people wanting or the other and coming to him, and he getting it done. And so this is the time now that he's actually running for office. So it's to call in those favors and like, okay, remember, I did this for you, I did that for you, I gave you this, I was the one that made sure you got this ticket here, you got that ticket here, did this, that. And so that will force people also to come in, and then that support is there. And then of course there are people who they don't care anybody who is there. They've made up their mind. There are people who for them they genuinely want, and that they feel is the best for them. He's the everything. He's the most competent for them. They feel one way or the other about him, and so there are those people who for them it's about they think he's most capable. They think he's this, is that, and it's a choice. And one of the things for me personally, I always say to people, like, everybody has a right to choose whoever it is that they want to choose. It's their business. It's their right. It's their choice, and you must never denigrate anybody over the choices that they have made. All you have to do is that you focus on your own candidate and ensure that your candidate wins. And so for me, that's it. And somebody asked me a question one time, okay, we're talking about votes, when people are being called to apologize for who they vote for. After I had that a lot, and I was like, for what? Choice that I made. Everybody has a right in politics. Oh, if you're angry at me that I voted against your candidate and your candidate did not win, why are you not angry at yourself that you couldn't make your candidate win? Hello, it's one thumbprint all of us have. And then so she was asking me that, oh, what if Tinubu now becomes president? Wouldn't you be angry at the people that campaign for him? I said, for what? Why? I will only be angry at myself because I was not able to campaign for my own candidate, who is Peter Obi. So that will be my anger. That if anybody wins, I'm not going to campaign other than Peter Obi. I'm not going to be angry that other people campaign for their own candidates and they won. I will only be angry at myself and like, why didn't you do all you could? Or if there are certain things that I was supposed to do that I didn't do. And so that's why for me, effort is always where I put my focus on. I don't focus on the result because the result is not in my control. It's the effort that is in my control. So I sit down and look at what are the things that I can do. And that's why you see me every day. I'm waking up, I'm doing my videos. Every day I'm doing one thing or the other. And so for me, that is much more important. I think the door is opening. My husband will probably open this door now. And it does make such loud noise anyway. So if you hear that, or if you don't hear that, let's see. Because I'm actually in the study. It's maybe, what time is it? Early. So that's one thing. So if you see, when I see people, calling out people, insulting people for their choices, I just feel that those people, the people who are doing that, they do not respect their own choices, and they do not feel validated in their own choices. Because if you feel validated in your own choices, you will not go after attacking people for their own choices. It's all about choice. So the most important thing is your effort. So for me, it's the effort I put in and ensuring that Peter Obi becomes president. And so that's the reason why I do my videos every day, even when I'm tired, even when I'm like, oh gosh, today I don't think I'll do this. I come out, I do, because that is what I need to do. And I do I'm like, okay, it's 160 days to election now. So what do? Ensure that this is also 160 days to election now. Focus. After these days, you if there's life, by the grace of God, you have the time to do other things. Just on this one, and just focus on this journey one step at a time. So at the end of the day, when I do all of that, I'm not going to feel that there was something that I left out, because I didn't leave out anything. It's when I've left out something that I will not really be angry at myself. So I'm not going to be focused on what other people are doing with their candidates and who they are bringing. I'm going to focus on my candidate and ensure that my candidate wins the election. So thank you for listening. There was no one near me, but I know some people are like, let me go. What's he going to say? Nah, I'm just helping. Probably I've helped you in one way or the other to be able to understand why some people are actually are campaigning and canvassing for him. Maybe sometimes some people are thinking, oh, but I'm looking at this person, is this, or I look at this person with high esteem. Don't look at anybody with high esteem. I look at this with high esteem, but then he's campaigning for Tinubu, all of that. There are reasons. Everybody has reasons, and you can't take that away from people. So if that helps you to understand, I hope it helps you to understand better the way it also helped my sister to understand better when I explained to her, and the way it has been helping other people understand better whenever I explain this to them. So thank you so much. And you know something, I'm really thinking that maybe we should make our 2 p.m. our premiere, is it premiere they call it, right? I hope so. Premiere time, so where we come and just watch one of my movies together, and then we have our discussion. I think I need to, not movies now, one of my videos. Why did I say movies? Because it's premiere. And so we just watch it together, and then we have a bit of discussion. Like I always say to people, please put in topics that you would like me to discuss and talk about some certain issues that you want me to do. So thank you so much for watching Aisha's Take. Hopefully tomorrow at 2 p.m. by the grace of God we'll meet again and just listen to each other and then chat and have a conversation in the comment section. Thank you and bye.